Good day, class. Today, let's talk about our new topic, which is square roots of numbers. Taking the square root of a number is like doing the reverse operation of squaring a number. Okay, if you are familiar with the squaring of a number, you can easily find the square root of a number. Squaring a number, these are the examples of squaring a number. We have 3 squared. It means that we have to multiply 3 by itself twice. So 3 times 3 that is 9. Okay? So how about this one? Negative 4 squared. It means that we have to multiply negative 4 by itself. Negative 4 times negative 4, that is positive 16. How about this? 6 squared. So that is 6 times 6, 36. Then, negative 7 squared. Negative 7 times negative 7, that is positive 49. So, the process of multiplying a number by itself is called squaring a number. Okay? So, complete this table. So if 1 squared is 1, 2 squared is 4, 3 squared is 9, how about the remaining square of a number? Okay, it's your turn. Just pause this video to find the square of the following numbers. Then I will reveal the answer. Now I will reveal the answer. 4 squared is 16, 5 squared is 25, 6 squared 36, 7 squared 49, 8 squared 64, 9 squared 81, 10 squared 100, 11 squared 121, 12 squared 144, 13 squared is 169, 14 squared 196, 15 squared is 225, 16 squared is 256, 17 squared is 289, 18 squared is 324, 19 squared is 361, 200 squared is 400, 21 squared is 441, 22 squared is 484, and 23 squared is 529. So, you have to familiarize yourself to the square of a number for you to easily solve the square root of a number. Okay, so the resulted numbers are called perfect squares. So this 1, 4, 9, 16, 25, up to 529, and other numbers that is the result of multiplying number by itself. So that is called perfect squares. Suppose we have square root of 16. Okay, we can read this as square root of 16. This symbol is called radical symbol. This number is called radicand. So, square root of 16 is 4. Okay, because when we multiply 4 by itself, that is 16. Okay, so this 4, our answer is called the square root of a number. Okay, the square root of a number. The square root of 16 is 4. Okay, the square root of a number 16 is 4. So the square root of a number is the number that, when multiplied by itself, will be equal to the radicand. Okay, the square root of a number is that the number, when multiplied by itself, so 4 times 4, will be equal to the radicand, that is 16. Okay, 4 times 4, 16, that is the square root of a number. So every positive number has 2 square roots. So 1 square root of 16 is 4. Since 4 times 4 is 16, the other square root of 16 is negative 4, since negative 4 times negative 4 is also 16. So the square root of 16 is 4, or positive and negative 4. Okay? So the square root of positive number is, or positive perfect square number is positive negative. Okay? Or 2. There are 2 square roots. So meaning positive or negative 4. This symbol means positive, negative. Okay? Or positive or negative 4. Symbols and their meanings. We have, to indicate the existence of the roots, the following symbols are used. As you can see, we have different symbols. So this symbol indicates the existence of two roots, positive and negative. This symbol, positive and negative, then square root or radical symbol, it means that you have to find the two roots, okay, which are the positive and negative. This one indicates or denotes only the principal root or the positive root only, okay? So if you saw this one only, therefore it means that you have to find the principal root. When we say principal root, that is the positive root only. Then this one will be, or signifies that we are looking for the negative root. Okay, when we have this negative sign, it means that you have to find the negative root. Examples. So as you can see, we have this symbol, plus minus or positive negative square root of 64. That is positive negative 8. Okay? So because positive 8 times positive 8 is positive 64, and negative 8 times negative 8 is positive 64 as well. So we just have two roots here because we have this symbol. How about this one? Square root of 25. That is positive 5. Okay, we just have to find the positive root or the principal root. That is positive 5. Then negative square root of 121 is negative 11. Okay, negative root. We are looking for negative root. That is negative. Then, what is the square root of 121? That is 11. Okay, so negative 11. Another, positive negative square root of 36. So positive negative, then square root of 36 is 6. So positive negative 6. Next, square root of 9. We don't have here the sign, therefore, our answer is positive 3, okay, or the principal root. The negative square root of 100 is negative, then square root of 100 is 10, so negative 10. Another one, positive negative 81 is positive negative 9. Square root of 16, we have 4, okay, principal root. Then, negative square root of 81 is negative 9. Square roots of rational number. Okay, those are the square roots of rational number. So, square root of 9 is rational since positive negative square root of 49 is positive negative 7. Okay, so rational number, we are able to find the square root of a specific number. So we just find, or we just have the square root of 49, that is 7, or the positive negative square root of 49 is positive negative 7. Another, square root of 25 over 16 is also rational since we have the square root of, this will be the square root of 25 over 16, and that is 5 over 4. How? Square root of 25, the numerator, that is 5, and the square root of 16 is 4, our denominator. So, our answer is also a fraction. So, 5 over 4, and that is rational. How about this one? Square root of 0.81 is rational. Why? Because we have the square root of 0.081. So suppose we have positive negative square root of 81, that is positive negative 0.9. Try to multiply 0.9 times 0.9, that is 0.81, as well as negative 0.9 times negative 0.9 is 0.81 as well. So how about this? Square root of negative 49 and square root of negative 25. So as you can see, the sign of our radicands are negative. Okay? So take note that if the radicand is a negative, so negative like this, uh, then there is no real root. There is no real root. We are unable to find the square root of that. Okay, because the number or the radicand is negative. Okay, there is no real root, no square root of a number. So if the square roots of perfect squares are rational, how do we call the square roots of numbers which are not perfect? Okay, so if the square root of perfect squares like 1, 4, 16, 9, 25, and so on and so forth, that is what we call rational. How about those numbers or positive numbers that are not perfect squares? We can call that as irrational numbers, like square root of 3, square root of 5, square root of 7. So as you can see, we have positive numbers, but uh, they are not perfect square. Okay? So how to get the square roots of a number or of numbers which are not perfect square? First, you have to factor the radicand in which one of the factor is a perfect square. Okay, so you have to factor out that radicand wherein one factor is a perfect square. Get the square root of the factor which is a perfect square. So just get the square root of perfect square factor, then write as the product of the square root of the perfect square factor and the square root of the non-perfect square factor. So after finding the square root of the perfect square factor, you put that outside the radical symbol. Then we have the remaining radicand, that is the non-perfect square factor. Example, square root of 45. So think of a factor or factors of 45 wherein one factor is a perfect square. So as you can see, we can factor 45 as, or the factor of 45 is 9 times 5. Okay, so 9 and 5. Because when you multiply 9 times, when you multiply 9 by 5, that is 45. Wherein 9 is a perfect square. Therefore, just get the square root of 9. So we have 3, then multiply it by the non-perfect square with radical symbol. So that is 3 times the square root of 5, or we can read this as 3 square root of 5. Next, we have the square root of 60. Think of a number wherein one factor is a perfect square. That is 4 and 15, because when you multiply 4 times 15, that is 60. And 4 is a perfect square number. So find the square root of 4. We have 2, then square root of 15. So 2 square root of 15, or square root of 60 is 2 square root of 15. Okay, so find the square root of the following and determine whether it is rational or irrational. So try this on your notebook. 1 to 10, just find the square root of the following numbers, then identify whether it is rational or irrational. Like for example, square root of 16. Okay, so I have this is the square root of 216. Then write rational if it is rational, then irrational if it is irrational. You can pause this video, then later on I will show my answer or the correct answer. Now I will reveal the correct answer. Here's the correct answer. So for number 1, 6 square root of 16, that is irrational. Then number 2, 4 square root of 2, irrational because that is not perfect or that is not a square of a number. So 14 is rational. 3 square root of 6 is irrational. 8 square root of 2 is irrational. 9 square root of 6 is irrational. 11 square root of 3 irrational. 19 is rational. 10 square root of 10 is irrational. Then 100 is rational. As you can see, if your answer has a radical symbol, that is irrational. But if your answer is, or if the correct answer is a whole number, that is rational number. Okay? If there is a radical symbol, that is irrational. And if there is no radical symbol, or if the answer is whole number, that is rational because our given is perfect square. That's all for today, and God bless.